Well, hey y'all, Joseph McBrayer. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here for today's video where I'm talking about how we're filming for Easter here at Oak Grove United Methodist Church. So I've got a 3-camera setup today to explain a little bit of how we shoot with our A camera, B camera for side shots, and then in the back I've got a shot to sort of show you where other things are. And I just realized I forgot to turn on the rim light. So here we go. That's better. Let's make sure this is all going to focus still. So for the season of Eastertide here at Oak Grove, we decided to film from the balcony to give a little bit of a view of the sanctuary in a different way. For Lent, you may have seen we filmed from down below with the lights down low from the very back of the sanctuary so that we were able to give a sense of the darkness of Lent, also the tungsten bulbs coming out a bit more orange as I changed the settings for filming with the light and daylight, using some of the natural light coming in from the windows, and also then making the tungsten lights appear more orange or sort of yellow to give it that sort of fire sense for Ash Wednesday and for Lent that we use to start the season. For Easter, we cap things off by having these nice out-of-focus lights on this other camera behind the head of the pastor speaking. From the balcony, it's a very different perspective. You get to see all the cross behind us, the whole chancel area beautifully lit up. Normally I have the candles lit. Forgot that today. My second camera's having a real hard time focusing today, so watch it. Okay, so when we do that, we've got these nice out-of-focus lights behind me from the chandeliers that you can see are beautiful, as well as seeing the cross back behind me for the chancel. You get to see the whole sanctuary in one swoop, and this is beautiful because we're not indoors yet. We're looking forward to the first Sunday in June when we plan to be back inside in limited ways, both in modern and traditional worship. And we'll also be live streaming that, so we're building the teams out to do that. Recruiting folks, training people. This coming Sunday we'll be doing outdoor worship, and we're actually going to be training some of our youth to help work in that area as well. Filming from upstairs, so we get sort of a sense of the grandeur, the brightness with all that comes with the season of Easter and how we're bringing that into how we're filming. Using one key light here. This is the Forza 60B, using that with a grid on it to give sort of directional light, to feel like the light is coming from those windows, even though that's not where it would be coming from normally. So this light is motivated by the windows. This rim light that's over here is actually providing a little bit of separation here to separate me from the background, both in the second shot and in the main shot. So it doesn't feel quite so one-dimensional, but gives you that 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional pop on both the person speaking, but also a nice little hair light to give a little bit of contour to this side of the face as well. Above me, I've got the Rode shotgun mic going straight into the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K right here with a 17-55 EFS 2.8 on this, and a 50 millimeter here on this one, shooting in 4K. And then this back camera is just the sort of 1080 normal wide shot in the back. But this gives us a good sense of depth of field. Now, if I wanted to punch things in, I could, and just sort of stand up here and move this in. That's a little bit closer. Let's see if I can get it in focus. That's gonna be the real task. That's relatively in focus. So if you wanted more of a talking headshot from the neck up, this camera could have that. And you could actually even zoom that camera in. When you film in 4K, you have a better shot at that. You can push and pull the zoom depending on what you want to do or how you want to isolate things. One of the biggest things I've learned from this season of the pandemic is that digital connections matter so much for people. We have church members or people who are going to become members that I talked to actually over Zoom today who have found us through being in person a few times a couple years ago, and then have found us even more through Facebook and have been watching every Sunday after the kids go to bed. And so there's just all these neat ways that the electronic digital means of how we're connecting people matters to people. What's powerful for me as a pastor in all of this is that even in the midst of a pandemic, when people feel isolated and lonely, they're finding connection through digital means. And so a huge shout out to our church and our community and our pastoral staff, as well as our volunteers and community members online who help people find that sense of connection. And so if there's somebody you know who's looking for that connection, then point them to the Oak Grove YouTube channel or other places where they can get plugged in, or help them connect with another church that you know about. If you're a pastor or someone watching this, the digital means to help people connect is so powerful, and I'm sure you have stories about that as well. So in this season of Easter, where we're celebrating the light of the risen Christ, we wanted the sanctuary to have that feel for it, for our traditional worship folks, to see it in a new way. For all the crowd who sits in the balcony, they know this is one of the best views, looking all the way out to see the pastor and all the people happening, sort of a bird's eye view of what's happening in worship if you sit in the balcony, and for a lot of our kids who sit up here as well. So that's sort of all for me today. I wanted to give a sort of shout out to our Oak Grove community for all the work they've been doing for Holy Week and for Easter. So many amazing things happening and having worship outdoors. The Holy Week experience was amazing with our drama team, and a lot of other great things happening. Lots more coming up in the life of the church at Oak Grove, but also for all my fellow pastors and filmers and videographers out there, church creatives, who are doing sort of this church cinematography thing. We made it, y'all. We made it through Easter. We made it through Holy Week, and we're celebrating that. So wherever you find those stories of new life, of resurrection, keep looking for them, because they're out there. And so thanks again for tuning in. If this channel is helpful for you, please like and subscribe. You can do all those things, hit the notification bell. So every time I'm posting a new video about church things or church cinematography or just our own experience here at Oak Grove, you can check in with those things. So again, I'm Joseph McBrayer, and thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.